Hello students, good morning. I'm Prem Gupta, your English teacher. Dear students, in the previous classes we were discussing the grammar portion in which I had taught you the first chapter, the parts of speech. Dear students, from today we will start the literature portion, that is English reader. The name of the book is Open Sky. Dear students, there are two books that will run in your class. One for English reader, one for English reader. The name of the book is Open Sky, and another that is Grammar X. Okay, that is for grammar. Okay students, so today we will discuss the first chapter of this book. The name of this chapter is Daffodil. This is a poem, a very nice poem that is composed by William Wordsworth. Dear students, we all know that William Wordsworth is a very famous poet in English literature, and he is also known as the nature poet in English literature. And there are so many poems he has composed on natures. William Wordsworth considered nature as a god. He believes that nature is a god. There are several poems that is composed by William Wordsworth that is based on nature. Here, that is also a nature poem, that is Daffodils. Daffodils, you know, this is a kind of flower, a golden flowers. Okay, the color of this flower is golden. And dear students, before starting this poem, we should know related to this poem that is given in the Warm Yourself. Everyone just open the page number 9. Warm yourself up. William Wordsworth was an avid observer of nature. Avid means enthusiastic, and he was very close to the nature. He was very keen observer of nature, and often he is called the poet priest of nature. Generally we call him the nature poet. He was also known as the priest of nature. It means he was very close to the nature, therefore he is known as nature poet as well as priest of the nature. In this poem Daffodils, he described the impression and cluster of daffodils flower. In this poem, the poet has described about the daffodils, impression and cluster of daffodils. Cluster means group of something, that is the bunches, you can say bunch of daffodils. And just see, created in his mind when he saw them. When the poet saw them, it means when the poet saw these beautiful flowers, daffodils, he thought a lot about the quality of these daffodils flowers. Created in his mind when he saw them while taking a stroll. Stroll means a short walk, a short leisurely walk in free time. When he was in free time, when he was free, at that time he used to visit the natural scenario. Just see, he was while taking a stroll beside the lake hemmed by the some trees. He was just visiting beside the lake, and that was hemmed means surrounded by the some trees. Okay students, now we will read the poem and discover the beauty of the daffodils lifted the poet's mind and spirit. Now in this poem we will see that how the daffodils flower have touched the poet's heart, and the poet was very much close to the daffodils flower. Now come to the poem. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 stanza in this poem, and we will read the first stanza first. I wandered lonely as a cloud that float on high over vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd a host of golden daffodils beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. This is the first stanza of the poem. In this poem, the poem is written in subjective mode. It means the writer is describing the poem. Here the poet was saying that I. Here the word I is used for the William Wordsworth. Okay? I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high over vales and hills. Here the poet was saying that he wandered. Wandered means to move from one place to another place without any kind of aim. Aimless movement from one place to another place. That is known as wandered. So here the poet was saying, I wandered lonely as a cloud. Here the poet has compared himself with a cloud. As the clouds move aimlessly in the sky from one place to another place, in the same way, the poet is also wandering in the natural surrounding that floats on high over the hills, vales and hills. That clouds float on the vales, high over the vales. Here vales means valley. Vales means valley. You can see here the meaning V-A-L-E-S. Here vales means valley. Okay. Vales means valley. E-Y. That floats on high over the vales and hills, and the clouds generally floats over the vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils. The poet was saying that when he saw, what he saw? The crowds of what? A host of golden daffodils. When host means a large number. Host means here a large number. Host, a large number. Just see, host. Here the poet was saying, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils. When he saw the so many flowers of daffodils, or you can say the crowds of daffodils, or the host of daffodils, or number of daffodils, what happened? Where he saw? Beside the lake. Beside the lake. Beside the lake and beneath the tree. And the daffodils were, the flower daffodils were where? Beside the lake and beneath the tree. Suppose that this is the tree, and this is the way, and there are so many trees, and just beneath the tree, there are so many flowers. Just see. Beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering. Fluttering means fly unsteadily. It means in Hindi we call फड़फड़ाना. यानी कि डेफोडिल जो फ्लावर था, इतना मूवमेंट उसमें था, यानी फड़फड़ा रहा था. एंड जस्ट फ्लाई अनस्टेडली एंड डांसिंग इन द ब्रिज, बिकॉज देयर वॉज अ जेंटल विंड. ब्रिज मीन्स जेंटल. ब्रिज मीन्स हियर अ जेंटल विंड. Okay, student, just see. Here, beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. He saw, the poet saw, the William Wordsworth saw that the daffodils' flower were fluttering and dancing in the breeze. And the daffodils' flower was fluttering and dancing in the breeze. Here, the poet has used the personification, the figure of speech, personification. Here, poet compared daffodils as a living thing, as the people dance, as human being dance. In the same way, the flowers, the daffodils were also dancing in the breeze. Okay, student. Here it means if the poet is comparing the movement of the flower with a dance. Okay, just see. Beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. Here, the daffodils flower were where it is situated. He saw beside the lake and beneath the trees, and it was just fluttering, moving, or flying unsteadily, and dancing in the breeze. Okay, student, this is in the first stanza. It is given that the poet was wandering and he was just comparing himself with the clouds. As the clouds move from one place to another place aimlessly, in the same way the poet is also moving from one place to another place without any kind of aim. He was just observing the natural scenario, and he while wandering he saw the daffodils flower were fluttering, dancing in the breeze, and they were near the lake and beside the just beneath the tree. Okay, students, I hope that you all have understand the first stanza of this poem. Now come to the second stanza. First we will read it. Continuous as the star that shine and twinkle on the Milky Way, they stretched in never-ending line along the margin of a bay. 10,000 saw I at a glance, tossing their heads in sprightly dance. This is the second stanza. Now see, here the poet again comparing continuous as a star that shines. Here the poet again comparing the daffodils with stars, as the star shines in the sky continuously in the night. In the same way, daffodils were also shining like the stars and twinkles on the Milky Way, as the star shines in the Milky Way. Here the same daffodils were also just shining, or it was also shining like the star, or twinkles like a star. Now they stretched in never-ending line along the margin of a way. Here the poet is saying that they stretched means spreads, and they stretch in such a way. Suppose that this is the way, and the poet is moving from here to here. He was moving, and there are one corner, the both corner of the roads, there are so many trees, and just beneath the tree there are so many daffodils flower. And it was stretched in such a way that it shows the never ending line. It means it will not finish. From where to where it is spread, it is stretched. Now see here, and they stretched in never ending line. The daffodils flower is stretched in such a way that it will not end. The line of the daffodils will not end. They stretched in never ending line along the margin of a bay. Margin means here border. Along the margin of a bay. And 10,000 saw I at a glance. This is exaggeration, hyperbole. The poet has used here the figure of speech, exaggeration, we can say hyperbole, in which someone describes something in higher mode, excess, something excess that is not reality. Okay, so here the poet says that 10,000 saw at a glance. At a glance means at one quick. Okay, a quick look. In a one glance, he can saw 10,000 daffodils. 10,000 daffodils he can see the poet was saying that he can see 10,000 daffodils at one glance. Okay, just see. And what they were doing, 10,000 daffodils, they were tossing their heads. Tossing their head means movement, nodding. Nodding. Tossing means here nodding. Tossing means here lower and raise one's head like this. As we do like this, up and down. In the same way, the tossing flower were also moving like this. That was movement of the flowers. And tossing their heads. Okay. As we also suppose that we are giving the answer in S, then we put the head like this. Yes. In the same way, tossing their heads. Tossing their heads means just nodding, and it was just movement of the flowers. Tossing their heads and sprightly dance, and they were just tossing their heads as well as sprightly. Sprightly means full of energy, and they were dancing. The poet were comparing here the daffodils is full of energy, and it was also dancing in the bridge when the wind blew, when the breezes came, and it was just movement in the flowers. And it is mentioned in the poem in the second stanza, tossing their heads in sprightly dance. And they were tossing their heads, the flowers, daffodils were tossing their heads, as well as they were also dancing sprightly. They were also dancing with full of energy. Okay students, this is all about the second stanza of the poem. Now come to the third. Now see, the waves beside them danced. The waves beside them danced, but they, first of all we will read the third stanza, then I will explain. The waves beside them dance, but they outdid sparkling waves in glee. A poet could not but be gay in such a jocund company. I gazed and gazed, but little thought what wealth the soul to me had brought. Okay, just students, just see here the waves beside them, and beside them there are waves. There are waves because that is hilly area, and there are valleys also. And so here the waves beside them danced. They were also dancing. Waves were also dancing. Streams were also dancing. Stream of the waters also dancing like that. That is spring. You can say that is waves. Just see, waves beside them danced, but they outdid the sparkling waves in the glee. And they were also sparkling. Sparkling is shining. They were also sparkling waves in glee. Glee means it's a great pleasure. Glee means happiness. And they were also full of happiness because they were also living surrounding, they were also living in the surrounding of daffodil flower. And the waves beside them danced, but they outdid the sparkling waves in glee. They were also moving, they were also showing their happiness. And the poet could not but be gay. And now, after seeing all these natural beauty, the poet has forgotten everything, forgotten worldly problems, and a poet could not but be gay. And gay means here happy, happiness, pleasure. So here the poet was full of gay, full of happiness in such a jocund company. Jocund means Jocund means cheerful. It is also given in your word meaning section. You can see here jocund. Okay, just see. In such a jocund company, I gazed and gazed. Gazed means to look constantly, to look continuously. Here I gazed. The poet was saying, after seeing this kind of natural beauty, the poet was just gazing. He was just looking at that flower continuously. Engaged, गेज मीन्स एक तरह से घूर कर देखना किसी चीज को. सो द पोएट वाज जस्ट गेजिंग एट द फ्लावर daffodils, but little thought, and he also little thought while seeing, while gazing the daffodils flower, and what wealth the sow to me had brought. And what wealth means here possessions. It represents the possession, valuable possession. Here the happiness, the poet's happiness can be defined as a valuable possessions. Here says that what wealth the sow to me, and the poet was saying he was full of wealth, he was full of possession after seeing all these natural beauty, after seeing the beauty of daffodils flower, and so to me had brought. And he came here and he was just saying the natural scenario, natural beauty, the daffodils flower, the lakes, the valleys, and the all the natural beauties that has been created by God, and that is the wealth of the poet. Okay, I hope that you all have understand. Actually this poem is very difficult, we can say, for your standard. You are in class 5, and this is this poem we can find in MA or BA. It is very famous poet, that is William Wordsworth. And there is a particular period in English literature on the name of William Wordsworth, the age of Wordsworth. When you will go in higher classes, if you will take the English literature, you have to read the age of Wordsworth. Okay, that is also known as Romantic era, Romantic period. Okay, students, so come to the next stanza, that is the last stanza. We will read first. For oft when on my couch I lie in vacant or in pensive mood, they flash upon that inward eyes, which is the bliss of solitude, and then my heart with pleasure fills and dance with the daffodils. Here again the poet is saying, for oft means often, when on my couch I lie. Couch is a kind of long chair on which people can lie. People can also take rest comfortably as well as can sleep on that chair. Couch is a kind of chair, okay, long chair. When the poet was saying, when he was on the long chair on his chairs, and in vacant means empty, in vacant or in pensive mood. Pensive means thoughtful mood. When he was in thoughtful mood, at that time they place upon that inward eyes, and the beauty of the daffodils flower places on the mind and the heart of the poet. And just see, in vacant or in pensive mood, they place upon the inward eyes, and the beauty of daffodils flower flashes on the poet's mind when he was in a pensive, or when he was lying on his couch or long chair. and which is the bliss of solitude. At that time when the poet thoughts about the beauty of daffodil's flower, at that time he was just feeling the bliss of solitude. Solitude means loneliness. He was just feeling the blissful. He considered himself blissful of solitude. Solitude means a state of being alone. Here the poet was feeling happiness, inward happiness, happiness of inside. That is the supernatural, we can say the spiritual happiness. And then my heart filled with the pleasure. When the poet thoughts about this flower, about this daffodil's flower and the beauty of flowers and the natural beauty, his heart fills with the pleasure, and not only fills with the pleasure as well as and dance with the daffodils. And as the daffodils dance, the poet also started dancing when he thoughts about the beauty of the flowers, daffodils. Okay, student. So in this poem, the poet is only just narrating the beauty of daffodils flower and just appreciating the beauty of flowers, daffodils, as well as he was also praising to the God that God has given all these beautiful things. And he also considered that all these things that has been made by God, that is also itself God. Okay, students, this is all about the poem. You read it deeply, then only you can understand the real meaning of this poem. Okay, student, so you will revise this poem at your home, as well as you will find out the hard words of this poem. If you have any kind of problem, you can ask, you can mention in the comments, as well as you can ask in the WhatsApp group. Okay, students, so that's all for today. Thank you.